Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you, please do your own research. All media used was found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Mahogany Spirit coming to you from the UK. Meghan Markle joins Michelle Obama's initiative to encourage people to vote. During the discussion, the Duchess said, "I'm really thrilled that you asked me to be part of this. This is such an exceptional time." As I was thinking about this a little bit, I thought, when I think about voting and why this is so exceptionally important for all of us, I would frame it as we vote to honour those who came before us and protect those who came after us, because that's what community is about. That's specifically what this election is all about. We're only 75 days away from election day. That's very close, and yet there is so much work to be done in that amount of time, because we all know what's at stake this year. I've always felt that Meghan has had her eye on a political seat of some description and basically used the royal family as a pathway in order to get there. Let's face it, she wasn't an A-lister actress. Anyway, she goes on to state, and specifically not women of colour. As we look at things today, though it had taken decades longer for women to get the right to vote, even today we are watching so many women in different communities who are marginalised, still struggling to see that right come to fruition, and that is simply not okay. It's all the more reason for each of you be out there supporting each other to understand this fight is worth fighting, and we all have to be out there mobilizing to have our voices heard. I agree with that too. That's the reason why I'm calling for someone to draw up a petition. I talk about facts on this channel and my personal opinion. Personally, I do not feel that the British taxpayer should be paying for Harry and Meghan any longer. That's my personal opinion and that's my feeling. And I feel there are quite a few people out there who have the same sentiment as me. And it would be nice to see some action, because together we could quite easily stop this whole situation with Meghan and Harry, because it's not fair. They don't represent the UK any longer. They're not ambassadors for the UK any longer. They work for the US now, and it's becoming more and more evident. She goes on to say, if we aren't part of the solution, we are part of the problem. If you aren't going out there and voting, then you are complicit. If you are complacent, you're complicit. When We All Vote is a non-profit, non-partisan organisation which aims to increase participation in elections and to close the race and age voting gap by changing the culture surrounding voting. It was launched in 2018 by co-chairs former First Lady Michelle Obama, Tom Hanks, Manuel Marina, Janelle Monáe, Chris Paul, Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. As well as encouraging voter registration, the Couch Party also commemorated the centennial of the US's 19th Amendment, which granted the right for some women to vote. The event program read, "We will honor the 19th Amendment, celebrate women of color who have fought to make the promise of the 19th Amendment a reality for all women and highlight the need to expand voting rights for all marginalized communities." Meghan was among 100 influential women picked by Mary Claire US last week to share their personal reason to cast a ballot ahead of the US election in November. She said, "I know what it's like to have a voice, and I also know what it feels like to feel voiceless. I also know that so many men and women have put their lives on the line for us to be heard, and that opportunity, that fundamental right, is in our ability to exercise our right to vote and make all of our voices heard," which I completely agree with. Is Meghan saying she knows what it feels like not to have a voice because she was part of the royal family? Is this another dig at the royal family? I actually find it astounding that Miss Markle married into one of the oldest institutions in history, that is the leader of the Commonwealth, founded the Commonwealth in fact. And I'm not going to go into the history of Britain and expected to change it. That's what I will say. I think it's extremely naive of her and short-sighted, and the fact that she married Prince Harry suggests to me that a great change was made. I've heard many sugars say they felt they had a seat at the table. But then what happened? Meghan screamed racism, or Harry screamed racism, and off they went to Canada. The Canadians literally refused to pay their security fees. They wasn't having it. The Canadian taxpayers simply were not going to pay for Harry and Meghan's security, as they were no longer within the monarchy, the royal fold, and were no longer working royals. They went off to the US of A. I believe it's always been Meghan Markle's plan to move to Santa Barbara. I really do. But what I don't understand is, as she's no longer a working royal and no longer an ambassador for the UK along with Harry, why we are still paying to keep them in the lap of luxury. It's simply hypocritical. Guys, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to leave this with you, because Miss Markle has been controversial from day one. We had Thomas Markle talking to the media. He should not have been left like that, defenceless. We've had Samantha Markle. We've had Thomas Jr. It's been nothing more than a soap opera show. Literally. I feel they have a duty to relinquish both their titles and go it firmly and clearly alone. The British taxpayer needs to actually stop paying for their security, as does the Duchy of Cornwall. That's just my personal opinion. I really do feel it's time to cut the umbilical cord with regards to Harry. He's made his choice. He wants to be an ambassador for the US of A. Meghan is desperately trying to find a political seat. She may act in a film, one of Tyler Perry's films. I don't know. I don't know how Tyler Perry will actually feel. having her in one of his films, considering her husband didn't like his decor. That all remains to be seen. Anyway guys, tell me what you think. Like, comment and subscribe. Until next time,